Alright, so this particular video was requested. We are the militia, for those who don't know. This video was requested about how the United States might benefit by being a structured anarchy. This term in and of itself is an oxymoron. You can't have structure and anarchy. The two are conflicting principles. But if you put them together and try to make a government about it, let's see what I can do. Okay, I'll do my best. I'm not promising nothing. I'm nothing special. So just let me see where my mind wanders, and we'll see what happens. A structured anarchy, while oxymoronic as it is, it's not a thing. It doesn't exist. But let's explore the potential. So if I were to put in place a structured anarchy, here's what I would do. The police, the fire department, EMS, they would not change. The military would not change. Road crews would not change. Your stereotypical, these are the things we rely on type of thing would not change. What would change? A lot of laws would change. Speeding would be non-existent. The idea behind anarchy is we govern ourselves, and I like that idea, but at the same time, this is why a structured anarchy can't work, because you need rules in place because people are incapable of governing themselves. That's been proven 1.5 million times. People can't govern themselves. They just can't. They're not responsible enough, typically speaking. The reason why a structured anarchy could work is because taxes would be very, very low. Like, you're only providing what is essential, i.e. police, first responders, military, things of that nature. Its benefits exist, but in and of itself, it's flawed. It can't work. Not to say that our government is working any better than that currently, but to try and implement that, to try and make that something that works, it's going to take a lot of consideration. And this is just me flying off the top of my head. I'm just talking. I'm just speaking for the sake of speaking, essentially. But the request was there. Could it be potentially helpful? Yes, it could. Something like a structured anarchy would, without question, provide us with freedom. Because the government is extremely limited in the case of something within this ideal set. Is it ideal? No. Excuse me for my voice if it sounds a little off. I've had a cold, and I'm trying to get over it. That aside, back to the topic. Could it benefit us? Yes, a great deal. But it would wholeheartedly go against the liberal ideal. To some degree, it would go against the conservative ideal too, but that doesn't mean it wouldn't work. Typically, traditionally, your liberal democratic idea is more government control. Your conservative idea is less government control. That's the typical standard. Things don't work that way anymore. Conservatives aren't conservatives. Liberals aren't liberals. I have no hate for the Democratic Party. Let's get that clear. Liberals, when I say liberals, I don't associate that with the Democratic Party. I'm more talking about people like Robert Francis O'Rourke, aka Beto, Elizabeth Warren, Ilhan Omar, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I'm talking about these people who are extremists and very extreme on their side, which not even your own constituents believe some of the crap coming out of your mouth. So let's just say that for the facts. At the same time, let's look at Donald Trump. Donald Trump is I want to like Donald Trump. I want to believe in Donald Trump, but Donald Trump is a frickin' turd. And here we go. This is me exercising my First Amendment right, protected by my Second Amendment right, and oh, my rifle is right here. So if anybody should come and try to suppress this, welcome. Slim, welcome. Please, by all means, come take it. I dare you. That aside, because the Second Amendment is by far and away my passion. That aside, Donald Trump has been no advocate for the Second Amendment. He introduced a bump stock ban, which unconstitutional, for the record. He has talked about introducing certain other bans on firearms. There's even talks of body armor ban. Body armor ban? Really? Like, you want to take our firearms away, but you can't let people wear body armor? Who the hell is body armor gonna hurt? Oh, well, the shooters might wear it. Yeah, they might. And welcome to the world as it is, folks. The shooter might wear body armor. The shooter might carry a gun. And you know what the best defense against a shooter with a gun and body armor is? A shooter with a body armor and a gun. You want to unlevel the playing field and give them the advantage. That's the disgusting part of the left-leaning party. For me. The right has its own issues, like Dan Crenshaw talking about some universal background check too. Like, let me be real, folks. Let me tell you the shit, okay? When stresses are high, when you're in combat, I don't care how much work you put in on the range. I don't care how many timers you put in place. I don't care how many hours you spend on the range. I don't care how much money you spend on ammo or guns or whatever. That all goes out the window when somebody is facing you with an intent to do harm. When that happens, adrenaline is at its max. Things happen that you can't predict. Things happen that you can't train for. Your gun will malfunction. Your magazine will fall out. Stupid things will happen because that's what happens in combat. That's what happens when the real things hit the fan. I know this from a great deal of experience. You want to know when your gun is going to break? I don't care what gun you carry. I don't care if it's an AK. I don't care if it's an AR. I don't care if it's a G3. I don't care if it's a Glock 19. I don't care what the firearm is. I don't care what the weapon is. I don't care if it's a damn knife. You know when it's going to fail? When you need it the most. That's the way the world works, folks. So let's go back to firearms for a second. Okay, so you're gonna train hours upon hours upon hours, and you're gonna put that work in, and you're gonna get there to the point where you can put 17 rounds in the hole the size of a $50. Which, I mean, admittedly, depending on your range, that's really good shooting. That's really, really good shooting. But you know what's not gonna happen when the fire is on? When you're actually looking down the barrel of a firearm? You know what's not gonna happen? Everything you trained for. That's not gonna happen. You're gonna revert back to the most basic things that you can do under stress. That's what's gonna happen. That's how things work. You want to know why we need high capacity magazines? Because when that barrel is in your face, you're gonna miss. I promise you, you're gonna miss. You might do everything right. All your fundamentals are there. But your target's not static. It's moving. It's trying to hurt you. And that's assuming the world is perfect, which we all know it is not. That firearm is not gonna do what you want it to do. You are not going to have a slow, steady trigger pull unless you've trained that. Hours upon hours of training just that. You're not gonna line up those sights unless you have hours upon hours upon hours of just that. You're gonna fail. But why is failure a bad thing? And to go back to the topic of this video, maybe we should try structured anarchy, as oxymoronic as it is. Maybe it would work. I don't foresee that being the case because I don't feel, in my personal opinion, that people want enough responsibility for that to work. Could that be something ideal? Yes. But then again, so could a lot of things. Communism could work. Capitalism typically is the best solution, at least in my personal opinion. You're welcome to disagree. Communism could work. Socialism could work. A structured anarchy system could work. But the problem with all of those things, the problem fundamentally, is that you're asking people to govern themselves. Which I won't say can't be done. But at least the way I see the human condition as it is right now, I don't think the vast majority of people want to govern themselves. I think they want to be governed. I'm not speaking for myself in saying this. This is just an observation I've made. Could controlled anarchy work? Yes, it absolutely could, but it boils back to the same reason why communism doesn't work. Socialism included. Because socialism is just a pretty word for communism. It doesn't work because you rely on too heavily on people to govern themselves and not overreach. I mean, with the system we have in now, this constitutional republic we have in place right now, because if you don't know, the United States is not a democracy, folks. It is a constitutional republic. Right now, considering the state of mankind, I feel like this is probably the best place for us to be. Is it ideal? No, not for a second. Is it better than the alternatives? This is just my personal opinion, but I feel so. It just kind of is what it is. I got off on a bit of a tangent here, but the idea behind it is the idea of a structured anarchy. And could it work? Potentially, yes. Potentially, it could solve a lot of our issues. But, again, if we were the only country in the world, structured anarchy would be king. But it has the same faults as communism. Yes, it has its merits. Yes, it does. But at the very core of what it is, it's relying on people to govern themselves, which a lot of people are capable of doing, but the vast majority of people are not. Which is why, at least in my personal opinion right now, the United States is one of the greatest countries in the world, because you need, in my opinion, of course, you need a constitutional republic. Because, at least at the time I'm filming this, people's behaviors and the government options out there, structured anarchy included, its benefits exist. But what you're asking of people, in order for it to work, not to say it wouldn't, we're just not there yet. So as far as that's concerned, I hold structural anarchy, oxymoronic as it is, I hold that in the same regard as communism and socialism. Because could it work? Absolutely. Are we as a society, are humans in general ready to make that work? Absolutely not. It's just not realistic. Does it have its benefits? Absolutely. But so does communism. But we're just not there yet. That's just my 2 cents on the matter. This has been We Are the Militia. Hit that like, smash that subscribe, and by all means, feel free to leave a comment. If you haven't, hit that bell. I'm not sure what side it'll be on because I'm looking at the camera, but hit that bell, and by all means, get notified of our videos. We're very much unsupported. Like, nobody tells us nothing. We do what we want to do, and that's the way we do it. And that's the way this channel is going to continue for the duration. So, for